Let me know if you guys want me to move my camera so you can see what paint I'm choosing more easily if you want to see my palette or whatnot. I love doing these lives lately while I'm working on a commission because it makes me work so much more faster than if I weren't on camera. I kind of need that pressure. I normally tell my clients 4 to 6 weeks as a turnaround for these paintings. And Kookie, we're coming up on, let's see, they commissioned me on February 9th, so I'm right on track. I try to include shipping time within that estimate, but if I am paying attention and not getting distracted, then I can usually get these small 5x7s done, I don't know, probably within 2 hours of actual pen or brush on paper. It probably takes longer if you factor in the random, like, phone breaks, scrolling, Instagram, Reddit, you know how it is. So when I get on a live, obviously I can't do all that with my phone, so thank you for being here. She's got a really dark mouth down here, so I'm gonna paint that in before I lose it by accidentally painting over my brush lines with a different color. Oh, you have a gray Yorkie? It's cute. Is it a he or she? Oh, a mini schnauzer. Those guys are awesome. I love the like little beards they get. She's almost all gray through here. Like her fur color is, I'm really struggling to kind of identify what that color is. Because if you guys have seen a Yorkie, you know the color I'm talking about, where it's like almost silvery. Let me know if you want me to show you the reference photo too. I have it on my iPad right over here. I can just move the camera for a second. I think, so she's got like a gray undertone. All right, I'm gonna paint gray in right here. Thank you, Chelsea. That's very nice of you. Lots of people say they wish they were artistic or wish they had the gene for it, but it's really, I feel like a lot of it is really just practice, you know, just like with any other skill, which is a good thing because that means that you don't have to have a specific artistic gene to go out and create. I could show you some of my old portraits or earlier stuff that I started, because I only started doing this a couple years ago. They were really bad. And even still, I have like bad portraits every now and again. Like I would say like every 5 commissions I do, I redo the portrait because I hated how it turned out. And it was really bad, so I had to start over. And that's okay, because it's just watercolor. It's not life or death. It's just a painting, just a piece of paper. Thank you, Danielle. You know, I don't have that skill either, Chelsea. I paint from photographs. Like, and my inspiration comes from when I really like a photograph. So I have a specific style that I look for pet portraits, but yeah, I can't just create something from my brain and put it on paper. I don't have the skill to do that. There's a YouTuber I follow. I can't remember his name. He's like in Sweden or Finland or something like that. But he is an artist and he used to create for video games, and all his like content is about forcing yourself to stretch your creative muscle. And he actually is one of those people that can utterly come up with something completely new just on a whim by playing around on his iPad with Procreate. And he has some really cool art. But yeah, Chelsea, for like pet portraits like this, I literally trace the photo. It doesn't just come straight from my brain. Not that good. Let me know too if my internet connection looks okay. I've been having trouble with it this week, and it has been making my streams look like garbage. I love that view of it. I think about that a lot too. I don't have kids, so it's like, what am I going to leave behind? And right now, my dogs are my kids, but yeah, I like that view of art. Sometimes I think about doing a more permanent art style because of that too. Is, you know, watercolor is inherently more fragile than acrylic or oil paint just because it's a piece of paper. I, you know, consciously use pigments that are rated to last more than 100 years and are light fast, but it's still just a piece of paper. It's susceptible to more damage than other types of art. I'm glad the internet connection is holding out because earlier this week I was painting, I was painting a black cat, and I was actually having really good engagement, you know, really good conversations with people, and I had to get off of YouTube and switch to Instagram because it couldn't handle the connection. And on Instagram, on that live, I was also having really good conversations and connections with people. I had more viewers than I normally get, and it crashed again. And everyone was so nice, and they were all like, "Oh, maybe it's on my end." I'm like, "No, it's my Wi-Fi." So I'm hoping it holds out this time, because I need the pressure of people watching to finish this in a timely manner. The story of how I got this commission is actually, I think it's really interesting. It's so I last January, so a while ago, um, I joined the social media app Blue Sky, just playing around because, as like a small business, you join all the trending apps and see what you can do. And I didn't really stay consistent with it, but there was one woman on there all the way in Washington, D.C., that really loved my dachshund artworks because she has a dachshund herself, and we chatted a little bit because I also have dachshunds, and she ended up commissioning me for 2 portraits of her dog. Well, fast forward to now, it's been a while. I haven't really heard from her or anything like that. I get a commission request from someone with the address of right next door to where I sent that dachshund painting, and her neighbor had walked in and saw the painting hanging on her wall and wanted one of her own dog. So I was very flattered. Yeah, I never got onto the Twitter or X trend either, and Blue Sky is similar to that, I guess. Like, just with I don't know. I've never been one to consistently update a post, so I didn't do great on Blue Sky. And also, I just can't juggle that many social media apps. Like, Instagram is kind of like all that I really use social media wise. I don't know if YouTube really counts as social media. I mean, I'm sure it does in some regard, but not in the way I see it. I didn't really come across any crazy people. It was just more like what did I do? Like, I hit subscribe, I think is what you do on Blue Sky, of just like all cats and dogs and art. And I only stayed on those and just kind of tried to stay away from everything else. But yeah, I don't use it anymore. The cost of this one is $95, and that includes the shipping. This is a 5x7, just for reference. I do go smaller to a 4x6, is that size, and then I also have, it goes all the way up to like 9x12, but this is my next portrait I'm going to do. It's an 8x8 square, and the 8x8s are $155. What kind of dogs do you guys have? Chelsea, I've never done one of a miniature schnauzer, so I would be honored to paint yours. You would be the first. An 8x10 is also, let me see, I think it's $155. Yeah. I think I have it as the same price as my 8x8 squares. A Chihuahua. I love painting Chihuahuas. I paint them a lot. They're a very popular breed to commission portraits. I actually, on my Instagram, I just did a big post of all my Chihuahua paintings with the like trend was like what the photo people sent me and what I sent back. And you can just swipe through and see all the examples of my favorite Chihuahua paintings. I'm partial to the little dogs, not for just painting, but for owning too. I've had wiener dogs all my life. Your dog's name is Buddy. Wait, you said that. Yes. Oh, that's so cute. I had, growing up, I had a Schnauzer Beagle mix, and his name was Lucky. And he had the biggest, like, beagle howl that you could ever imagine. And then he also had the Schnauzer beard. He was really cute. I don't know if you're still watching, but if you with the healer, the blue healer, does he have like the crazy eyes, like the really pretty blue eyes, or what kind of blue healer does he look like? Thank you. Look forward to hearing from you. I love painting those bright blue eyes. I do have a website. It's onecreativecrow.com. I'm also on Instagram at onecreativecrow. Both are easy ways to contact me. My email is on both, but yeah, just hop over to one of those. You can DM me or fill out the order form. Looking at the inside of his ear, or his ear, her ear, I actually don't know. I'm assuming her. It's very pink in here. Add that in before I forget. They make very popular gifts, Chelsea. That's probably 90% of what I do is a gift for somebody else. So I kind of go a little backwards when I'm painting watercolor. Normally the trick is to paint lightest to darkest when you do watercolor, but and I guess I do that in some regards, but I am always like, as soon as you, even if it's a super light wash of color, you can lose your pencil lines. And so I like to map out the darkest areas on a painting first, and all the little shadows and little dark hairs like on here on her mouth and in her ear. And once I am happy that I have put all those down correctly, then I go through and I'll do a big wash of color over the rest of the dog, and that kind of brings it all together, unifies everything, blends it all a little bit better. I'm sure it's not like the most correct way to do watercolor painting, but I am self-taught. I did not go to school for this. I went to YouTube for learning how to do this. I feel like the background is a little grainy. It's not as smooth as I like it, and that might be because I used a different color than normal. I've been experimenting with pink, different pink pigments, because a lot of them are fugitive, which means if you put them in front of light, they will disappear. And so obviously when someone's paying a lot of money for a portrait, that doesn't work. And this new pink I'm using isn't fugitive, but it is grainy, and I don't like that. So I am going to take a wet brush and scrub at it, and then add some of my favorite quinacridone rose over it instead. And it's okay if it blurs the edges of the dog a little bit, or if the paint runs a little bit, because with long-haired dogs, I like to finish my portraits by using this opaque white paint all around the border of the dog. You can kind of see on some of my other finished pieces that what I'm talking about when I do that. I just think it makes it pop so much more. So it's okay if there's a little bleed over, because I'm just going to cover that up. I don't want to scrub too hard on this paper, because then the paper itself will start to get more texture on it and look grainy. And then that's how I know I've overworked it. I'm just adding some, what color is this? French ochre. It's like a warm golden yellow to kind of complement her fur. And it looks really nice with quinacridone rose. They're two colors I use together a lot. I'm glad you find it relaxing to watch. That's my hope. I like hanging out with people while I paint. I used to like meet up with friends. We don't live in the same city anymore, but meet up with friends at coffee shops, and we would both, she was super artistic too, and we would both bring little sketchbooks and tiny watercolor palettes, and we would paint watercolor in the middle of a coffee shop. And it was a lot of fun. It was very relaxing to just kind of play around with the paints while we sat there and talked. I'm gonna be honest, I don't love the way the background is looking right now, but I think just as I keep working through the portrait, it'll come together. I'd say about half the time, maybe even more than half, um, no one has any preference for how I paint the background. They want to leave it up to the artist to figure out. And I choose the background based on usually the reference photo, what kind of lighting, if it's warm or cool lighting in the reference photo, or the dog's fur, like for instance, red dogs look really good with blue and green backgrounds. But Cookie's owner wanted pink. And she's such a pretty little girl. Like, she's got this cutest pink collar key tag, too, so I understand that. I get the desire for pink. I think I'm just not as good at pink backgrounds. I'm gonna mute it while I'm doing this hair dryer. Yeah, don't love the background right now, but I'm just gonna keep working through it. If I have to redo it, I'll redo it. Not a big deal, it's just a piece of paper. I think though, once I add some like fun paint splatters and finish the body, it won't be as distracting, because right now the background is definitely overpowering the dog. She has like a really tricky coloring on her body because it's almost like silver. right, I am headed out. I'm going to switch to switch to Instagram. Thanks for watching.